team and get cut.
Sign up with the team, to get the clock started?
Because as soon as he signs up, then his suspension starts.
Don't nobody want Antonio Brown.
I said for him, it'd be smart.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with
Michael Anthony Fitness.
And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, I stopped by Home Depot because I just needed a couple of things. And man, that place was packed this morning. It's like the lines were crazy. You know, I wear my mask because in our state, you're required in businesses to wear masks. That doesn't mean that everybody does, because enforcing it is the harder part of the whole thing. I mean, it's not like we've got mask-wearing police that are going to bust you for it. And then you have some people that are just like, screw you and all that. You know, we had a woman who worked at a 7-Eleven and she's not wearing one, and a person who had underlying conditions and stuff said, how come nobody in the store is wearing a mask? And so there's a picture of the cashier literally giving them the finger. It just kind of creeps me out because I try and do my part. I wear my mask. I got my hand sanitizer when I get back in the truck and everything else. I get what I need and get back. But I hate when I'm in line and people crowd you. I'm just like, you know, you're not going to check out any faster if you're, 6 inches behind me. Just back off. And so you try and creep a little way and it's like, dude, back the fuck off. But anyway, we have some news here, of course. Skip and Shannon talking about AB and his 8-game suspension. They need to just be done with AB. AB, come on, man. Let me turn them off. Seriously. Anybody that signs AB, I'm sorry, is just stupid. You know the baggage. It's not like he hasn't had enough opportunities. But speaking of opportunities, I'm excited about this because the last football game we went to, right? What was the last football game we went to?
Was that the Toxic Waste Dump?
No. I'm not talking about NFL football. Oh. Any football game. We went to the very first, right after the Super Bowl, XFL, the DC Defenders. At least the Defenders had enough of a name. An XFL team that's no longer in business has a name. So much for that other team in Washington that's nameless. XFL, we went to the inaugural game, the very first one, the DC Defenders against the Seattle. What were the Seattle? Do you remember what Seattle was? The Seattle, whatchamacallits, I don't know what they were. But we were at that first game in the Audi Arena, which seats like 21,000. And I got to tell you, the action on the field was good. They innovated a whole lot of things and all that. But because of the Rona, the season was cut short and they declared bankruptcy, right? Well, there's a new sheriff in town. It has been bought up. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? You don't like my Rock? You don't like anything I do. Dwayne Johnson, former Miami Hurricane football player, who didn't make it into the NFL, which was the greatest thing in the world to happen, who made a name for himself in the WWF, which turned into the WWE. And then became an actor galore. And actually, on television, became an owner of a team. Was that foreshadowing? Because he bought the XFL out of bankruptcy for $15 million. $15 million. How what were there, 8 teams? That's less than $2 million a team. That's a bargain. That sounds like a bargain. So maybe when this pandemic is over with, maybe we'll see what's going on. I wonder if that will. I look at it like this. I think having The Rock gives it more credibility than Vince McMahon. Would you agree with that? Well, I mean, Vince McMahon, you think of, okay, you look at Rock. Okay, Rock, to me, I mean, he's a movie star. He's had the television shows and everything else where he's, football player, and he is, a former football player, as opposed to Vince McMahon, who had, the original, was XFL then too? That first one was, that was literally a joke. The second one, I tell you what I liked about the XFL, I didn't think I would at first, but the kickoffs, where you got the guys 5 yards apart and they can't move until the ball carrier gets the ball. Now, being a gunner on special teams, okay, my job was to, when the ball was kicked, run 40 yards downfield as fast as I could and throw myself into the wedge, which is illegal now. You don't have the 6-man wedges like we had in the day, and that may be part of the reason why I annoyed my son, because I'm crazy. Because I think I had a lot of brain trauma, because when you literally run downfield 40 yards, full speed, lower your head, and run into a brick wall, you don't stay sane. They eliminated that in XFL. So the ball carrier gets the ball. He gets a running start before everybody else gets a chance to move. And so you don't have the violent collisions that you had before, and you can see how it kind of changes things. Another thing, they took away the angled punts, because if you kick the ball out of bounds on a punt, I think it goes to the 30-yard line automatically. Or if it goes into the end zone, same thing. So it behooved you to keep it in the field of play, so you have more action there. The other thing that I really love, which, when you're down by 8 points, you're screwed, right? XFL, you're unscrewed. You don't have a whole lot of opportunities, but they did away with kicking extra point. You went for 1 point from the 1 yard line, was it? 2 points from the 5, and 3 points from the 10. So you had an opportunity to be able to make up the difference. It'll be interesting to see what Rock's plans are. I mean, $15 million. He had a partner in that. He spent half of, the other person spent half on it. What they're going to do to try to resurrect it, and when in fact it would come back. I don't see it coming back this spring, because we're still knee deep in the coronavirus, but maybe the year after. Thoughts? No thoughts? I'd go see a Rock-led XFL game.
I'm not going to see any games right now.
Oh, I didn't say right now, but I mean, it ain't gonna kick off next. It's not gonna happen in January. He just bought it in bankruptcy. It's gonna take time for them to even start the whole process up. You got a lot of players who were left shortchanged and stuff, and I'm sure venues didn't get paid and everything else.
They really weren't shortchanged, because they were paid out for the whole year, and they had insurance till the end of the year, so they really weren't shortchanged. They took care of the players. That's the AAF. They were shortchanged.
Yeah.
The XFL, they weren't shortchanged, but they made sure I took care of the players before they went to bankruptcy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I got my folded up leagues confused. Now, here's another interesting part here too. This is nothing to do with the XFL, like college football. The Pac-5 conferences out there, the college players are basically telling the NCAA they're going to have to shit or get off the toilet, because they've got demands on playing this year. One of which is health insurance for the next 5 years for playing, and 50% of the revenue is actually going to paying for the health insurance and paying the players to put on, to be there. And I'll be honest with you, if you start looking at this, the NCAA is pretty much looking at just dropping all fall sports for this year, with the exception of football being able to make its own way. If you're not having the kids on the campus and you're just having the football team get together and work, this isn't about an education. This is about making the money. That's all that is. Let's be clear here. They are free labor. Granted, they get a room and board, but that's what they really are. When you think about some of these college coaches that are making $2, $3, $5, $10 million a year, they should be paying these players to do what they do. But we'll find out what happens. I still don't think there's going to be a college fall season, in which case we'll see football on Saturday, NFL football. All right, I'm sure Michael's going to have a lot later on the XFL because he is our XFL expert. I'm Mark Holmes with
Fitness.
and I'll see you later.